today we are going to be making steak fajitas. I'm going to show you how to prep your ingredients or prepare your mise en place, and then I will also show you how to cook your finished fajitas, and then you will be enjoying them. So when you go through and plan your lab, you're going to be planning for 2 days. Day 1, you're going to be prepping, which is what I'm going to start with showing you right now, and then day 2, you'll be cooking and eating. Alright? So for your steak fajitas, when you look at your recipe, you're going to be preparing a marinade, and then you're going to be preparing toppings for your fajitas. So to start with your marinade, you are going to need some orange. You're going to need some fresh lime, because the freshness is what's going to add the flavor to your marinade to flavor your meat. We're going to have some oil, some garlic, jalapeno, and cilantro, and then we're going to use some cumin, salt, and then you're going to be, each pair is going to have 7 ounces of skirt steak, give or take a little bit, okay? So what you're going to want to start with is to save on, you're going to be marinated in a bag, so you're going to take your meat, and I don't want to cross-contaminate, so I'm not touching this with my hand. I'm just going to throw it right into the bag. Okay, I just touched it, so now I'm going to have to wash my hands. I just finished washing my hands. We have our flank steak in our bag. I'm just going to set that off to the side. Now I'm going to prepare my marinade. To start with the marinade, we're using freshly squeezed orange. Each pair is going to have half of an orange. When you cut your orange, you want to make sure that you are cutting it in half this way, okay? The width. Because if you cut it the other way, you're not going to be able to get all the juices out from the segment. So you can see all the halved segments, all right? Next, you are going to take a fork, just a simple fork, and you're going to set it in the center, and then you are going to just go at it in your orange to get all of the juice out. There's no, this is savory cooking, so there's no preciseness. It's more based on just the sight and pretty much your individual taste preference. If you get a little bit of the pulp in there, that's absolutely fine. Just remember, this is just your marinade, and it's going to add a little sweetness to your meat. It's not going to taste like oranges. Okay, I'm going to finish up, and then I'm just going to give a nice little squeeze to get all of my juices out. Okay, with the orange rind, you can just dispose of it. I have in here just a little stem. Again, take that out, and we're done. Okay, next, our next citrus, which adds lots of flavor. It also adds acid to the marinade. You want the acid because this helps preserve the meat. You're going to roll this, and this is just going to open up some of the pores within the lime, okay? Again, you do not want to cut lengthwise, you want to cut width. Cut it right down the center. It's a little bit smaller, and you can see the segments. You're going to use the entire lime, okay? So again here, we're just going to extract those juices, and then squeeze. Again, right here. You could use, if you were going to make this at home, you could use bottled lime juice, but this is going to add a lot more flavor and freshness. Okay? So now we have all of our juices. I'm going to dispose of the limes. And as you're going, you want to make sure that you're just keeping your area clean, and clean as you go. Next, we're going to add our oil. The oil is going to help adhere the marinade to the meat. You only need 1 tablespoon of the oil. Now remember, just as a quick review, tablespoon is the big T, the largest spoon you have. Do not confuse it with the teaspoon. Okay, I'm just going to do it right over. If you get an extra little dab in, that's absolutely okay. Because again, savory cooking, your measurements are important, but taste is more important. Next, we're going to add 1 clove of garlic. This is called a bunch of garlic. You only need 1 clove. Do not be misled and think that you need to cut up all of this, because what will happen is you'll have an abundance of garlic and you will smell. Okay, so you only need 1 clove. All right, we're just going to chop up and mince your garlic. So all you do is you have your 1 clove, you're going to take your chef knife and you're just going to pound it down, and that's going to help you release the skin, and then you just remove it. And dispose of that. And then now you are going to mince your garlic. Okay, you want to make sure you have enough working space, and you're going to go back and forth. And I like to use the edge of my blade to use as my guide. And you want to keep going. Okay, I've just finished mincing the garlic, so I'm going to just gather this up and I'm going to put it directly into the bowl. Remember, it's just a full clove. Okay. Next, our next ingredient is jalapeno. You're going to be using a half of a jalapeno. Now, when you are prepping your jalapeno, you want to cut off the stem. You just throw it into your garbage bowl. It's helpful to have a garbage bowl on the side because there's not that many garbage cans. You keep running back and forth, so just have a garbage bowl. The next thing is you want to get rid of all of the seeds and the membrane inside of your pepper. The seeds is what adds a lot of spice and heat. So if you like spicy, by all means, keep some of those seeds in there. If you don't want heat, then make sure you get them all out. And you want to make sure also that you don't rub your hand or your face, your eyes, because it could burn your skin, it could burn your eyes, depending on how hot the pepper actually is. Okay? So get that all out into your garbage bowl, and then it's completely deseeded. Okay? Next, what we're going to do is you are going to slice your jalapeno, and we want to just slice it, and then we're going to go through and mince it. So it's nice and small. You can leave them whole because they're not going to be actually cooked, but I like to make sure it's small so then it can surround the meat and tenderize it and flavor it nicely. Just a nice little rough chop, and then I'm just going to go through and do a quick mince. You don't have to do a fine mince. If I wanted to do a fine mince, I just keep cutting. Okay? So I have cut this properly. I'm just going to gather this all up and put it right into your bowl. Okay? Very flavorful. Next is our cilantro. You only need about a teaspoon of cilantro. So there's a big bunch. You're not going to grab the whole bunch. So you're going to come up and you're just going to take a little bit. Okay? It looks like a lot, but it's going to really condense in size as you chop it. You can leave some of the stems on. It's not a big deal. It's very flavorful. It adds a lot of flavor to your marinade. So you're going to do a nice little chop, and you're just going to go back and forth. Remember to use your blade as your guide to keep pushing everything together. Just do a rough little chop. And this is going to extract a lot of the flavors, and you're going to smell it. It's very, very abundant in smell. It's very, very fragrant. Okay. And you're going to need about 1 teaspoon. So as you go through this class using savory cooking, you should be able to say, okay, that's about a teaspoon. And if you have a little extra, that's absolutely fine. It's not, in a traditional industrial kitchen, you're not going to see a chef measuring, okay, this is a teaspoon. If you saw, this is about an actual teaspoon, and I did that by sight. And by the end of this class, your goal for yourself, and my goal for you, is that you would be able to measure this by sight. And you don't even need to use your measuring spoons. Okay? Next up is we are going to add our dry ingredients, which is just our dry seasonings. Some cumin, salt. Okay. Need a ½ teaspoon of salt. And again, savory cooking, you can, and I'll just kind of demo this up for you a little bit. You would just grab a pinch, okay? Okay, and that would be about a ½ teaspoon. Let's see how accurate I am. and I'm a little under, but you get the general purpose. Next up is cumin. Again, you take a little bit out. Remember, make sure your hands are clean. And if it's over, under, it's gonna all blend together, so. Okay. Next, what you're gonna wanna do is mix up your marinade, and it should have lots and lots of fragrance. And you're gonna take your marinade and you're just gonna mix it right in. Grab my spoon, get all those vegetables out into there, and then you're going to take all the air out of your bag, and you're going to make sure you're coating your flank steak in the marinade. Make sure it's all touching. You're going to label with steak fajitas, your period number, and then your teacher will tell you what else you may need to write on there. And we're going to properly store this overnight in the refrigerator below 40 degrees.